Good morning and welcome to lesson 133, which is I will not value what is valueless. So we're going to just take our holy moment first before we begin and allow ourselves to drop in, gently closing your eyes down. And maybe this morning, placing your left hand on your heart and your right hand on top. And just becoming conscious of this divine space within us. This meeting between the upper chakras or energy centers and the lower centers. And all paths to peace generally invite us to live from this place, from the heart. And so we begin this day in gratitude and we open our hearts and we surrender to love. We ask love to lead the way through the minutes and the hours of this new day. We welcome joy and fun and abundant prosperity. We recognize that all encounters are wholesome and that all experiences can be met with a peaceful heart that is anchored in the truth, that we are one, that we are love, and that we are free. And so we release these words and we let it be. Okay. So let's enter into the realm of lesson 133. I will not value what is valueless. Sometimes in teaching there is a benefit, particularly after you have gone through what seems theoretical and far from what the student has already learned, to bring them back to practical concerns. And this we will do today. We will not speak of lofty, world-encompassing ideas, but dwell instead on the benefits to you. You do not ask too much of life, but far too little. When you let your mind be drawn to bodily concerns, to things you buy, to eminence as valued by the world, you ask for sorrow and not for happiness. This course does not attempt to take away from you the little that you have. It does not try to substitute utopian ideas for satisfaction which the world contains. There are no satisfactions in the world. So it's not going to take anything that we actually have that is of value, this idea. Today we list the real criteria by which to test all things you think you want. Unless they meet these sound requirements, they are not worth desiring at all, for they can only replace what offers more. So it's like having the cheap version of something which doesn't really have any quality, when you could have the real quality version, which brings you everything you need. You cannot make the laws that govern choice, no more than you can make alternatives from which to choose. The choosing you can do, indeed, you must, but it is wise to learn the laws you set in motion when you choose and what alternatives you choose between. So it's like, get all the facts before you choose anything. Be informed. We have already stressed that there are only two alternatives, however many there appear to be. The range is set, and this we cannot change. It would be most ungenerous to you to let alternatives be limitless, and thus delay your final choice until you had considered all of them in time, and not been brought so clearly to the place where there is only one choice that must be made. So we're not going to delay things. We're not going to put obstacles in the way. Another kindly and related law is that there is no compromise in what your choice must bring. It cannot give you just a little, for there is no in between. Each choice you make brings you everything or nothing. How wild is that? Each choice you make brings you everything or nothing. Therefore, if you learn the tests by which you can distinguish everything from nothing, you will make the better choice. So we're going to be told how we can test whether we want something, whether it's of value or it's valueless. First, if you choose a thing that will not last forever, what you choose is valueless. A temporary value is without all value. So when you think of impulsive things you do, or of quick fixes, or of moving on from something before you have resolved or healed it, that's sort of something that is of no value in truth. It won't last forever. Time can never take away a value that is real. What fades and dies was never there, and makes no offering to him who chooses it. He's deceived by nothing in a form, or they are deceived by nothing in a form they think they like. Next, if you choose to take a thing away from someone else, you will have nothing left. This is because when you deny their right to everything, you have denied your own. Because remember, we're not separate from anyone. So if you steal something or take something from someone, you're taking it from yourself as well. You therefore will not recognize the things you really have, denying they are there. Who seeks to take away has been deceived by the illusion loss can offer gain. Yet loss must offer loss and nothing more. Okay, so who seeks to take away has been deceived by the illusion that loss can offer gain. Yeah, I had to read that again because I wasn't quite getting it. Your next consideration is one on which the others rest. Why is the choice you make of value to you? What attracts your mind to it? What purpose does it serve? Here is the easiest of all to be deceived. For what the ego wants, it fails to recognize. It does not even tell the truth as it perceives it, for it needs to keep the halo which it uses to protect its goals from tarnish and from rust, that you may see how innocent it is. Yet its camouflage is a thin veneer, which could deceive only those who are content to be deceived. Its goals are obvious to anyone who cares to look for them. Here is deception doubled, for the one who is deceived will not perceive that they have merely failed to gain. They will believe that they have served the ego's hidden goals. They will believe that they have served the ego's hidden goals. Yeah, I have to read these again, some of them. So basically, it's like we can kid ourselves and cod ourselves and deceive ourselves. So really dropping in every time you make a choice that you choose for love. And sometimes that can be hard to truly see. So it's almost like, we've got to get beyond the beyond of the ego in order to know what's ours to do. How do we really choose for love, and how do we know we're really choosing for love? And we've got to be willing to sit and to look and to ask the questions, and then to allow love to lead the way. And we've got to surrender all the ideas that the ego has. And what I find helpful is there's always a sort of a graspy feeling around the ego. It's always trying to get something, and you have a sense of that. No, that's definitely the right thing to do, sort of. It's like a righteousness around the ego, and there's a softness to the stuff that is of love. And that doesn't mean, though, it's always easy. The love stuff isn't always easy, but there's a knowing of something wholesome about it. So maybe, I'm just thinking, even in the case of when that the holy thing would be to make an apology to someone, and the ego can give you 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't make that apology. even using things like the Course, it doesn't matter. We're all the one. I can just sit here in my room on my own and hold them in love and light. That would be the ego being sort of conniving. So it's really interesting how the mind works, and just to be willing to ask these questions so that you are on the right track. I love the questions. I love staying in that place of curiosity and questioning everything. And it's a gentle curiosity and a gentle questioning. So yet its camouflage is a thin veneer which could deceive only those who are content to be deceived. Its goals are obvious to anyone who cares to look for them. Here is deception doubled, for the one who is deceived will not perceive that they have merely failed to gain. They will believe that they have served the ego's hidden goals. That one was worth repeating. Yet though they try to keep the ego's halo clear with their vision, still they must perceive its tarnished edges and its rusted core. Their ineffectual mistakes appear as sins to them, because they look upon the tarnish as their own and the rust as a deep sign of unworthiness within themselves. So we can reinforce this idea that we are sinful. They who would still preserve the ego's goals and serve them as their own make no mistakes, but only sins according to the dictates of their guide. This guidance teaches it is error to believe that sins are only mistakes, for who would suffer for their sins if this were so? So really what it's saying is this is a true opportunity for us to beat the shit out of ourselves, like to truly beat yourself up because you decide that you're guilty, you're shameful, you're sinful. And we lay this on really, really thick, you know. And this lesson is an opportunity to recognize that this is what we do and this is the agenda of the ego. And so we come to the criterion for choice that is the hardest to believe, because its obviousness is overlaid by many levels of obscurity. So there's an obvious choice there, but it's overlaid by lots of shadows. If you feel any guilt about your choice, you have allowed the ego's goals to come between the real alternatives. And thus you do not realize that there are only two alternatives. The alternative that you think you choose seems fearful and too dangerous to be the nothingness it actually is. All things are valuable or valueless, worthy or not of being sought at all, entirely desirable or not worth the slightest effort to obtain. Choosing is easy just because of this. Complexity is nothing but a screen of smoke, which hides the very simple fact that no decision can be difficult. What is the gain to you in learning this? It is far more than merely letting you make choices easily and without pain. Heaven itself is reached with empty hands and open minds, which come with nothing to find everything and claim it as their own. So the little I, the ego I, is invited to let go of every agenda, every idea it ever had, and come with an open mind, empty hands, open heart to love. We will attempt to reach this state today with self-deception laid aside, with an honest willingness to value only the truly valuable and the real. Our 2 extended practice periods of 15 minutes begin with this. I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek, for only then for only that do I desire to find. And then receive what awaits for everyone who reaches unencumbered at the gate of heaven, which swings open as they come. Should you begin to let yourself collect some needless burdens or believe you see some difficult decisions facing you, be quick to answer with this simple thought: I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. So let's drop in for a few minutes. So beautiful, that we're just simply going to come now open to love with this statement: I will not value what is valueless, and only what is valued do I seek, for only that do I desire to find. I invite you to gently close your eyes down. When you're ready, gently opening your eyes. And just paying attention today to what you do value. Where do you give your time? Where do you give your attention? Where do you give your energy? Where are your thoughts at? Get curious and begin to notice, and then choose for what is truly valuable. From my heart to yours, have a great day.